Hey everyone, and welcome to Top Think. Today we're going to learn about 14 powerful psychology tricks that actually work. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Redirecting questions. You can easily improve the quality of any conversation by redirecting questions that you've already been asked. For example, if someone asks you about your favorite sports, just give them a simple, meaningful answer. Then redirect the question. Ask the other person about their favorite sports because chances are they have something to say. The questions that pop into people's minds are almost always the questions that they want to be asked. So don't miss these easy opportunities to both enliven your conversations and facilitate greater emotional depth. Most people don't realize the significance of the questions they ask, but you do. So redirect the question and let them do the talking. Number 2. Motivational memories. When you're feeling down or unmotivated, there's a powerful psychological trick that you can use to improve your mental strength. Each time you struggle to believe in yourself, reflect on a time in your life when you achieved something significant. This trick comes from a 2021 study in the journal Emotion. Researchers tested whether successful memories improve your self-efficacy. They discovered that recalling positive memories not only reduces stress, but it also cultivates security and confidence. So from now on, use your past experiences to lift you up. Think about the proudest moments in your life and allow those memories to drive you toward a brighter future. Number 3. Framing strengths. Modesty is a valuable trait, but it's equally important to acknowledge your strengths and abilities. Many people confuse humility with self-deprecation. They focus all their attention on their weaknesses and they lose sight of their strengths. Anytime you're lacking confidence or motivation, remind yourself what you're good at and how much you can accomplish. Instead of obsessing about your weaknesses, frame your personality in terms of strengths and abilities because you are much more capable than you think. Number 4. Frustrating kindness. Not everyone will be kind or caring towards you, but there's no reason that you can't be kind and caring toward them. Whether you want to make connections or live a happier life, practicing kindness is the oldest trick in the book. So whenever you encounter a frustrating person, resist the urge to vocalize, to condemn, or criticize them. Instead, do your best to understand their feelings. Listen when they talk and be accepting when they express their vulnerabilities. Some people will become furious and storm off, but others will re-examine their anger and reflect on their mistakes. Either way, don't fight fire with fire. If someone loses their temper, control your emotions and practice empathy, because kindness is almost always the answer. Number 5. Stay busy. Inspiration strikes when you least expect it. When you're sitting at your desk searching for inspiration, you may not have a single good idea. But as you do chores or drive around town, a dozen new concepts may just pop into your head. You can actually trick your brain into being creative by occupying your mind with non-demanding tasks. As you solve small, simple problems, your brain continues thinking and processing. It feels like inspiration strikes out of nowhere, but the truth is, your brain never stops working. So the next time you're lacking inspiration, do something simple and repetitive to get your brain busy. You never know what will inspire your next great idea. Number 6. Recognizing fears. We all have worries, fears, and weaknesses that we're afraid to admit. You may spend years pretending these worries don't exist, but identifying setbacks is one of the greatest ways to move forward. Start by recognizing a specific fear or a negative emotion in your life. Say it out loud. Give it a name. Talk about all the reasons why it weighs on your mind. The goal here is to release your worries and fears from that lockbox at the back of your mind. Instead of burying those negative emotions, you can release fears into the world and empower yourself to grow stronger. So whenever something's bothering you, don't hold it inside. Recognize what scares you most. Identifying your fears gives you the confidence to overcome them. Number 7. Reflective visions. When you meet a new person, you form an image of that person in your head. You make assumptions about the life they lead and you fill in the gaps with information that seems to match their character. But here's the problem. Your interpretation of this person rarely ever matches their interpretation of themselves. So if you want to make stronger connections with people, see them the way they want to be seen. If they view themselves as a confident visionary, give them the credit they think they deserve. Not only will they enjoy talking to you, but they'll feel like you understand them on a deeply personal level. Number 8. The 60-second rule. Do you have trouble keeping people's attention? Many people speak in a way that discourages other people from listening. Bad habits like passive word choice, rambling stories, and overly personal details can impact the amount of attention you receive. So, what psychological trick can you use to grab and keep people's attention? Use the 60-second rule to make your ideas more interesting and easier to grasp. The 60-second rule goes like this. Every time you speak, you have about 60 seconds to get your point across before the other person stops listening. When those 60 seconds are up, the other person has usually checked out. So instead of rambling on, change the subject or ask a question. That way, the other person stays actively involved in the conversation. Number 9. Manifesting happiness. Everyone wants to find happiness. You want to create a life that makes you feel fulfilled. You want to find your definition of success and achieve the goals that you always imagine for yourself. But happiness isn't always dependent on your accomplishments. A 2010 study in the journal Psychological Science claims that attitude and personality play a major role in your ability to find happiness. If you're a negative, closed-minded person, you may not find the same happiness as someone who's positive and open-minded. Even if you achieve your goals, your attitude may stop you from finding the kind of happiness you expect. In other words, individuals with a more positive outlook tend to find more meaning in their lives. Happiness comes to people who look for happiness in the world. So maintain a positive attitude even if life doesn't always work in your favor. Be a positive person and happiness may come naturally. Number 10. Planning adventures. Alright, let's say you're having a rough week. Nothing's going the way you hoped and you're feeling disappointed. What psychology tricks can you use to lift up your spirits? Planning a trip or vacation is a powerful mood booster which reignites your passion for life. When your daily schedule wears you down, start thinking a few months in advance. Imagining a restful vacation is almost as nice as taking one, so don't hesitate to start planning your next getaway. Number 11. Last impressions. What psychological tricks can you use to make yourself more memorable? Almost everyone worries about first impressions. You pay special attention to your opening line, your handshake, even the way you enter the room. But the last impression is often more important than the first. The keys to a strong last impression are confidence and brevity. Most of the time, we let conversations drag on until we have nothing to say. That's when the conversation gets awkward. But if you want to be remembered, end every conversation in a way that's confident and concise. Many people use a simple two-part strategy to leave consistently strong last impressions. Start with a believable excuse that gives you a reason to walk away. Then express your interest in seeing the other person again. The goal of a last impression is not to be aloof or mysterious. Instead, be open, be friendly, but don't let the conversation get too deep or personal. Make a smooth and timely exit and you'll almost always be remembered. Number 12. Gaining respect. Respect is something we all want, but rarely receive. You want the respect of the people you meet, but you may find yourself frequently feeling disrespected or overlooked. So why aren't people giving you the respect you deserve? Many people do not gain respect because they have too much to prove. For instance, you may act stubborn, selfish, or overly competitive to convey your success and authority. But that's not how successful people earn respect from others. Successful people are, by and large, warm and friendly. They demonstrate competence in their area of expertise without trying to prove themselves or compete with others. So if you want to be respected, then don't worry about proving your skills to others. You see, the more you have to prove, the less others will respect your abilities. Number 13. Finding perspective. When you're stuck in a rut, you may struggle to gain perspective on your problems. You're so focused on the problems in front of you that you can't see the bigger picture. In those moments, there's a trick that you can use to gain perspective on your problems. Start by putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Think about the life of a friend, a coworker, or a family member. Imagine what it would be like to live in their world and struggle with their issues. This simple exercise can transform your perception of any problem. So, change your perspective as often as you can, because understanding other people is one of the best ways to understand yourself. Number 14. 2 little words. Studies show that 2 little words can change your life. Those 2 words are thank you. Practicing gratitude is one of the easiest ways to cultivate a happier, more fulfilling lifestyle. By saying thank you to everyone in your life, you're cultivating new, uplifting emotions which positively affect the world around you. If you can, say thank you several times a day. Be thankful for meals, be thankful for people, and for opportunities. Because the more thankful you are, the happier you'll feel. Hey, thanks for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.